anything to do with actual violence. And I'll come to what J.K. Rowling has said today about speech being violent, how absurd that is because of what it leads to.
Pick your
but
hero.
I said, you know,
or
when it
villain.
comes to
I'm not
free
judging.
speech, though, it doesn't mean you're not accountable for things you then say, right?
That's right.
You can be protected from any legal ramifications against you by a government. That's why Pam Bondi was so insane to say what she said.
Correct.
Because she didn't seem to understand the law or the First Amendment. A little worrying with an Attorney General, even if she's now tried to backtrack. But the reality is, if you're a doctor, a nurse, a professor at Harvard, if you're a teacher in a kindergarten school, whatever it may be, if you have a job like that and you are seen gleefully celebrating somebody's murder, then it is highly likely your employer will take it that you are inappropriate for that position. And I said to my team, you know, if one of you said this, honestly, one of
30
you
seconds before you attack.
rebel publicly
Get ready.
on social media in somebody's murder like this, I said I wouldn't want to do it. And we all kind of agreed. Nobody would want
As
that.
Sorcerer Supreme,
That's
I
not
oversee other
infringement of
magical
your free speech
entities.
rights in terms of the government coming after you or the law. It's just accountability for what you say with employers.
And frankly, let me put it one step
battle
further.
starts in
As somebody
5,
who's practiced law for
4,
10 years, if you had
3,
someone on your staff
2,
who openly
all you
celebrated
need
a
to do is
political
capture the mission
assassination
area. Got it?
and made the
The
point that
occult threats
murder
to this
can be
world
good
are
depending
many,
on
and
its
they grow
aims
stronger.
and its intent. And you continued employing that person, and then they hurt somebody else on your staff who may have said something politically that they didn't like, you'd be sued. There'd be a good case against you for allowing it, for continuing to endanger the employees who work for you. There's every incentive to get rid of somebody who doesn't show basic humanity. That doesn't seem to be too much to ask.
Like the
And again,
mission
that is to
area
be
is
distinguished
yours to
from
capture
people who
now.
just say, I didn't like him, I don't believe you're saying the right legacy about Charlie, I'll fight you on whether he was good or bad. That's fine. That's quintessentially American. I think that's well within the bounds of appropriate
Hands are
speech,
shaking
even
again.
in the wake of a
Capture
tragic
the
death
mission
like this. I
area.
don't like it. I don't think it's the right timing. I definitely did not think after Luigi Mangione killed Brian Thompson of United Healthcare, it was the time to debate whether our insurance companies are good or bad.
Right.
Maybe we can have that discussion, but we don't have that in response to the political violence, so we encourage more of it. But a large part of humanity is A, both fireable, and B, deeply troubling. And it's growing. And there were 2 recent surveys of our country and where people stand on whether political violence is ever justified. And one showed that 55% of liberals said it is, and one showed that 34% of liberals said it is, and both surveys showed very low single digits, like 7% of Republicans say something like this. So this is a leftist problem. And the reason it remains a problem, I mean, there's many reasons why it's a problem, but the reason it remains a
I have
problem is the thing
unfinished
that you just
business
showed,
here.
where the left, first of all, refused to accept, as we saw early on, first of all, it was Charlie Kirk who was shot.
Their
It was
team's
not some
capture
left-wing
progress
member
has
of the
passed the
squad.
halfway
Against the world!
It was very clear Occam's razor was the likelihood of why this guy was killed. And then it came out what was on the bullet casings, which were very clearly leftist messages, which they refused to accept on the left-wing media. They tried to say it might have been a Royper, which is a far-right person who follows Nick Fuentes. That was obviously not true given what was written on these bullet casings. And the bullet casing that shot Charlie, and the bullet that shot Charlie was Notices Bulges, OWM, which is a furry meme, and the furry culture is very closely linked to the trans culture. And many of us went out there and called a spade and said that's who this appears to be. The left melted down, can't possibly be. And then sure enough, what do we find out? That the shooter was a trans/furry quote boyfriend who's in the middle of transitioning from male to female. By the way, it's not a thing, cannot be done. And is writing him love notes about there's too much hate coming out of Charlie, and he's fallen into left-wing ideology. And now the left messaging, instead of saying, okay, you were right, sorry, we're going to really have to take a look at our own messaging around these issues, says, what does it matter?
I must be healed.
Juliet Kayyem, what does it really matter what the motivation was? You know, maybe he was just some nutcase.
By the eye of Agamotto!
It wasn't a nutcase. I am totally open-minded to it was a nutcase. And you really can't ascribe too much to the particular motivation. But at some level, everybody who's in a person's life in this fashion has to be a bit off. But this guy wasn't, Pierce. He wasn't one of those guys, like take the guy who killed poor Irina on the light rail train in North Carolina. Clearly that man is mentally deranged. and may have had other motivations that were connected to his mental derangement. But this is not a sane person. It's very clear. The issue in that case is judges who wouldn't lock him up, knowing that he was insane, throwing him back out on the rest of us because they knew he was violent, criminal, and insane. The issue here is there's no hint of insanity. This guy seems to have been very much together. This was truly a political assassination. And I heard Charles W. Cook of National Review say
Nobody
beautifully,
can stand up
you
against
look
a
back at why
full-strength Scarlet.
Reagan was killed by John Henry.
against the world.
He was a nutcase. He went to the mental asylum. He was doing it to impress Jodie Foster. That's not somebody who's moved by political rhetoric against Reagan. But look at who killed Martin Luther King. That was political violence. He was against the civil rights movement. He was a racist. Yes, the motivation does matter. The left would never dispute that if you held those two cases up. And this case seems pretty clear we're dealing with a sane young man who was politically motivated to take down Charlie Kirk. How did he get there? What were the influences? Totally fair questions that need to be honestly answered.
100%. Just a final point before I let you go, Megan.
When science failed me, magic. Open
The
your
language
eyes.
that people have used on the left for so long.
I tend
about
to
Trump,
lost souls,
Trump supporters,
like a shepherd tends
Hitler,
to his flock.
Nazis, fascists. When you see the
I will bring
anti-fascist
peace to-
insignia on the bullets
30
of
seconds
all of
before you
us,
attack. Get
I've
ready.
felt for a long time that if you keep using
You're a
those
shooter
analogies,
like
those
me.
grotesque analogies
It's no
about
shooter like
Trump
me,
and his
buddy.
supporters, then eventually
Never
people
figured
on
I'd
the
have
left who
something in
are
common with a talking
slightly
raccoon.
unhinged, who've been radicalized, they're going to think logically in their twisted way. They're going to think, well, if this is actually the new Hitler, if
The
these
battle
really
starts
are
in
the new
5,
Nazis,
4,
they represent an
3,
existential threat
2,
to America.
1.
I need to kill them.
All you need
It's
to
a
do is
logical
capture the
way to
mission
look
area.
at it.
Got
If you
it?
genuinely believe they are Hitler and the Nazis or the new fascists. And that's been my issue with that language for so long. And it's got to stop, hasn't it? Because I can see how a twisted mind hears that all the time and believes it.
I require some aid.
And yet there would be no safety. They didn't learn that lesson after Buffalo. They really believe that. Some selective
Area is yours to capture.
white supremacists and And secondly, there is a part of them that doesn't get it. You know, back to the polls I just referenced. There is an unhealthy faction on the left that would like to see more people on the right get killed, actually get killed.
Destiny
And honestly, you look at
awaits.
the difference between, right now, the left is bringing up the murder of this House Speaker in the state of Minnesota a few months ago. This terrible murder by a nutcase. This guy was nuts. Okay, back to the crazy people who are out there everywhere in the world.
Cosmic might return.
The difference between that murder and Charlie Kirk's murder is there wasn't a single solitary right winger who celebrated that woman's death. And there wasn't a single solitary right winger who demonized her as fascist or Nazi or pick your term prior to her death. She was the victim of a crazed madman who, if anything, said he was motivated by the Democratic Governor Tim Walz and telling him to get demons. But the point is, the reactions both before and after the assassination were markedly different.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Pam Bondi got shamed out of her position by the right. Because most of us on the right are consistent with our positioning, and when we heard her say such an asinine, inane thing, we clobbered one of our own. The left wing doesn't do that. And while I've received lots of nice messages from some more reasonable leftists in response to Charlie's assassination, do it. It's not enough to feel it privately. You have to police your own side. You have power over your lefties in a way I don't. So I can't resist it even if I want to, and I don't actually believe it's feasible to even try. But I'd love to see them give it an effort.
Megan, it's great to have you. You're going out on tour for the first time. You're a brilliant show. I was
Armed and dangerous!
You'll have to keep fighting until we
Will I
have a
still be
winner.
appearing with you in Miami? And the answer is yes. Because frankly, to all those who want to intimidate people like us from not being able to express our honest
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
So I will see you in Miami.
Here's, you gave me the chills. I love you for saying that, for doing that, and yeah, come hell or high water, I will see you in Miami.
I look forward to it. Take care, Megan.
You too.
US national debt is more than $37 trillion. And these are uncertain times for the global economy. It's enough to make you think. Maybe now would be a good time to buy some gold. Whether it's a hedge against inflation, peace of mind during global instability, or the sensible diversification, Birch Gold Group believes that every American should own physical gold. And they created something special. Until the 30th of September, if you're a first-time buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000.
Pick your
Free
hero.
metals,
Or
qualifying
villain. I'm not
courses.
judging.
To start the process, request a
You
free
don't
information
have to be a
kit now.
witch to find
Just
the
text
magic in
PEERS,
this world.
P-I-E-R-S,
But it does help.
to 989-898. Make right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate of up to $10,000 when you buy before the end of September. Text my name PEERS to 989-898. Claim your eligibility and get your free information pack. Again, just text PEERS to 989-898. Well, joining me on the panel to discuss all this is Riley Gaines, the host of Games for Girls.
There is no reason to be afraid of my magic. You don't have to be a witch to find the magic in this world.
As the amazing
But it-
Lucas.
30
Okay, well, welcome
seconds
to
before
all
you
of you.
attack.
Ryan
Get
Shapiro,
ready.
I was sickened by what happened to Charlie Kirk.
How fair you
In a world
I
consumed
have no
by
desire
darkness,
for small
Sickening.
I
Inside
will
Destiny
gladly
on the
be
other
the
night.
light.
fight for
Couldn't
one
bring
reason.
himself to condemn it
To
because
protect
Donald Trump
Lelsa.
hadn't said the right
Odin
thing there,
sired quite
which I
the
think is a
family.
lamentable piece of moral
left us
character.
all to fend
So let me
for
just start by asking you, I presume you condemn and were horrified by what happened to
The
Charlie
battle
Kirk.
starts in 5, 4, 3,
on the air
2.
Pierce, when
All
it
you need to do
happened,
is
I got
capture the mission
emotional.
area.
First thing I
Got
thought
it?
about were his kids and his family. This is not only bad for Charlie Kirk, obviously, and bad for his family. It's bad for America. And I also feel for everybody that was traumatized, that was there that day, and to see that. Now, with that being said, of course, I didn't agree with basically anything that Charlie Kirk did. But with that being said, yeah, I think that's physical. And I called that out, and I
The mission area is yours to capture now.
Charlie Kirk certainly agrees on it. I enjoy doing this show. I enjoy having respectful discussions with people that I disagree with. So this is a horrible, horrible situation. We never see political violence, no matter what side of the aisle it is.
Mission
Why
area
are
is
so many
yours.
people on the far left, the woke, being so brazen to make legal celebration of what happened? Quantum magic.
Load the exploding plasma.
Speak for them, but there's people on both sides of the aisle. I know Republicans don't hear that. There's a crazy lunatic on both sides of the aisle that celebrate really horrible things that happen to people in America. I don't agree with that. And if you're on the far left or the far right, and you celebrate anybody getting raped, then there's something wrong with you. And I don't feel bad for any of those people that were fired for celebrating talking about him and saying, well, this guy or big black is like him. Here are some of the quotes that he said. I don't think you should be fired for that. I think there's a way to call out political violence and say Charlie Kirk didn't deserve it. He lost his family. But I didn't like Charlie Kirk.
Okay, Lucas Bean,
I could not
Pointed
allow a
out to
trace
me,
of
you
Noel's
posted
darkness
some
to survive. Quantum
messages
magic.
about Charlie Kirk on your Instagram. We're going to show here. One is a post that's a parody of a Jubilee debate.
Half of the mission area.
Charlie
Keep
Kirk
going.
versus Bully. And one bullet is about smart one services. Quantum magic. Number two, the promotion post to
Second chances over.
next
You are safe now, my friend.
both Charlie Kirk and his widow. And the third was an image of a surprise, a sunrise, time of mysterious way with the hand
Feel better all.
praying hands.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Why do you find this funny?
Well, let me just say that I am
Here is all
a big
yours.
advocate for dark humor. And I happen to have gotten a bit of a taste of that maybe decade or so when it came to the right. And the memes of George Floyd.
You are safe now, my friend.
When it came to the memes of Breonna Taylor.
I am ready to put on a show.
Right? When it came to the memes of a mere right.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
I don't know what the issue is. I did not engage in the previous
I am at your service.
I would argue that if Charlie Kirk set his time on black culture and black crime, he spent a modicum of his time focusing on the white youth that perhaps could take him away.
Are you pleased he's dead?
No, absolutely not.
How did you feel about
But
his murder?
I don't think.
How did
I
you
don't
feel
think the
about
right
his
can say
murder?
this. How do I feel about his murder?
Yeah.
Well, I think a quote by a great author sums up the
In a
sentiment
world
of millions of
consumed by
Americans around
darkness,
the world.
I
And that
will
is,
gladly be
some
the light.
cause happiness wherever they go, others when they go. And I think that's a sentiment that is palpable amongst many Americans around the world.
30
due to the
seconds
hate
before you
and
attack.
vitriol
Get
and
ready.
vile that Charlie Kirk sowed. I think there was a
So
pastor
just to be
recently
clear,
who
unless I
said-
misheard you, then you are happy he died.
Follow me to glorious
No, I don't think as far as happiness is an emotion that
We need to
You
strike
literally
serves
just read me a
what
quote which
transpired.
implies you're happy.
The hand of heaven
Talked
does
about
not
something
No, I
that
think
does bring
the-
happiness.
unannounced.
the purpose of the quote was to say that there are some
But not all
people
of us have the
who have
battle
caused
starts in
harm and
5,
death and turmoil
4,
to other groups of people,
3,
such as Charlie Kirk,
2,
whether it's black people,
1.
whether it's, trans
I
people.
need to
I
get
heard the
back to the
quote.
mission.
Just to be
Got
clear,
Got it?
you said that the quote ends in that their death brings happiness, but you've denied that you were happy. And when you tell me a
I
quote
don't
like
disagree that
when you
there
tell
are
me a quote
people
like
who
that,
are-
I presume from that quote you're implying that actually you are happy he died because he deserved it. He had it coming.
No, not at all. I don't think there's ever words that I've ever made verbatim, never. I think there is a sentiment that when someone lives their life in evil and wickedness, the power of life and death is in your tongue. And the hate and the violence of it, I don't know what to tell you. As the scripture says, as he says, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I think his focus is on the community that, clearly is in progress. I find it interesting that there's more scrutiny on people who may make memes that they've done of George Floyd and other black victims than on the white male victims. This tragedy, as some would call it. I think
Why would you be offended about the memes of people like George Floyd, which I found if they're the same ones that you're talking about? Why would you be offended by those?
Cosmic might
Quite happy to do the same kind of thing yourself.
I think the point that I'm making by giving you for example, clearly
I require some aid.
I find it a bit hypocritical that the people who for years have said fuck your feelings are now overwhelmed with feelings at the moment. But the point that I was making was to point out the hypocrisy on a variety of narratives that's
Born again!
on I think the issue is that they have scapegoated people like Joe Biden for what is defined
I am at your service.
the same thing they did with Anthony Fauci.
Second
You
chances.
saw this when it came to the Second Amendment. They banned bug stocks. They had a bug stock under Donald Trump while they were fear-mongering about Biden taking away your gun. But as we saw, there was no
Keep going.
So I think this hypocrisy is ubiquitous within the fight. And I think my team needs to expose that before it's
And what about your own personal? I mean, hashtagging his widow.
You must protect this place.
Promotion post on
Cosmic might return.
By the eye of Agamotto!
I think that's a bit disingenuous to use such technical language as targeting. I think it's more of a strategic plan of attack to get the message out.
Against the world.
To speak to unity, left and she chose to punch together. Very nicely of her past husband. And I understand that. But by that same token, there are people who were actually harmed by the rhetoric that Trump put out. And that rhetoric actually codified in many cases in many states. So I think it is at point.
I feel better already.
It's perverse to expect people who are harmed by this rhetoric, harmed by someone who is anti-black, anyone who is
A thousand gods!
Your team's capture buzzer has passed
trying to make
weekly.
one seem as if they're the bad guys when that
Yeah, but see, funny enough, I can listen. I can see something
I'm ready to put on a show.
and despicable.
By the eye of Agamotto!
The stuff you target someone's widow, grief, I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me personally. My view of what you've done. I don't care about the motivation in terms of other people's inappropriate means, many of which I may well agree with that. But that doesn't mean that I then go and do it myself or worse, because that makes me even more inhuman and abhorrent. And by your definition,
I disagree. I think
I know you disagree. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I know. I'm just telling you. I know. Hang on. I'll let you have your say.
I'm a mirror
I'll let you have your
what
say.
they have shown.
I'll let you have your say. I'm telling you.
Against the world!
I'm using your own justification to tell you what I think of you and what you've done. Right? That's my free feeling. Let me bring in Gillian. I mean, Gillian, look. You know, I saw Brian there not
Keep fighting until we have a winner.
Born again!
Lines up coverage of the same story from across the spectrum, left, right, international, and lays it all out side by side. That kind of transparency is increasingly rare and is vital. Ground news who runs each outlet, their biases, and which stories are being buried. Has an especially revealing blind spot feed, which services stories being reported almost exclusively by only one side of the political divide. I want to hear every side before making up my mind. Ground News makes that possible and easy. It's independent, funded by subscribers and not corporate interests, just like my show. And it's a tool that puts the power back in your hands. Go to groundnews.com/peers to claim your 40% discount, the unlimited access Vantage plan, and see what everyone else is missing. That's groundnews.com/peers.
I find this exceptionally sad because, Lucas, you talk about how hurt you were and how offended you were by such despicable things, and then you became the thing that you found the most repulsive, which is alarming, and as I mentioned, deeply saddening. I would be more than happy to litigate some of Charlie's positions for you. I object.
I don't think I need
on
any
its
litigation
face-
from a woman who tried to downplay slavery, who tried to all lives matter slavery
Do you
after
wanna
she
discuss
purchased a
that?
black child.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
You don't have to be a witch to find the magic in this world, but it does help.
Okay, it's Wednesday, so two things in the gaming news world I wanted to talk about this week. The first involves Borderlands 4, and basically all the stuff floating around Borderlands 4. Lots of conversation out there, and a lot of it centered around
I may be powered by chaos, but I'm trying to bring a bit of order to the universe.
It wouldn't be a big AAA game launch without performance concerns, of course. When it first launched
30
late
seconds
last
before
week,
you
the
attack.
biggest point of
Get
conversation
ready.
immediately was PC performance, with a lot of people reporting
You don't
issues,
have to
all
be a
kinds of issues,
witch
and
to find the
seemingly just pointing
magic
to
in
the
this world,
fact
but
that
it
the game
does help.
seems poorly optimized. From crashes to just really struggling to get it running on pretty modest PCs. All types of people have
Okay,
issues, and everybody,
so maybe not
like
exactly.
you, will express
The
frustration.
battle starts in 5.
You saw it reflected
4,
online on social
3,
media, but of course,
Ready to capture the available area and
a lot
extract some goodies?
of people
Let's
mentioned.
go!
Now, I did first impressions. I did the before you buy quick look on game ranks, and in my experience, I had minimal issues. I know I'm not the only one. I have spoken to other people that have had okay time running. I had to tweak the settings and stuff like that. But this is how it goes. Everybody's machine is different. There are different variables, and what can work at best is
A spider infestation. How unpleasant.
We've seen it a lot with teams. But performance stuff is interesting here because Borderlands, in some ways, made it out they launched early. I don't know if you guys remember.
Maximum pulse!
See, everything's so great. They're actually going to release it a little bit early. That was announced a few months back, and now here we are. And it seems like the game might be nothing! For me personally, I can only be honest and speak to my own experience. I didn't have issues on PC. I was running it on a 4090, so I mean, there's that. But even still, I've seen reports of people with graphics cards that good and even better. So I can't control it down to my experience. And all that aside, I will point out that like, from what I've played so far, I'm looking forward to jumping into more. Unless we're reviewing two games right now. But
Looks like resources are running low. Get ready to find another available area.
There's the man.
Overall stuff is really working for me because I found side objectives and bounties and side quests that
Great job! You're loading up on resources.
very early, very consistent, giving me good and weapons and using stuff more. They definitely toned down some of like the obnoxious in your face cringy humor, which I never had an issue except for Borderlands 3 just because I found it interesting. I didn't find it good, specifically with like the boss and stuff. Now here, there's a little bit more of an interesting, cooler, more imposing boss and humor that actually hopping in with a friend. I didn't have any server issues or anything like that, but I mostly played solo because this is what I do. So far, so alright. It's just the technical stuff, which I think can be fixed. It is often fixed. It's not always fixed, but usually fixed. And of course, then there's the whole head of Gearbox, the developer, Randy Pitchford, saying stuff online, which I don't like to make full videos talking about. As a higher up company, I don't think you should be coming out here and doing this much.
Maximum pulse! Maximum pulse!
You've got competition. Put on the show!
Hardware and what the software they are running is okay, sure, but a lot of the stuff
The other
came
team
out
is
of
extracting those resources.
again, you speak your mind, stand up for yourself, stand up for the thing you made, the product you're selling, the people who built that product. But I think at a point, it's kind of a losing battle. The more you put out there, the more you try and say, people will always lose. Some sort of
That's bringing my set.
it's so like up and down, bipolar, whatever you want to call it, just because like one team will read as being extremely defensive,
Great
one will
job!
seem as
You're
positive
loading up on
in the
resources.
right place. Honestly, and I say all that specifically because like you are out there, you're trying to sell products. So I don't know, I just wouldn't be out there kind of rubbing people the wrong way, even if some of your intentions are pure, some may not appear pure from the tweeting, because again, if you tweet too much, like if you post too much online, something's gonna blow up in your face. It's just how it goes. The more
Good news! You've stockpiled half the resources
and
you
it's a
need to
really
win.
a sponsor of this
Resources are
video.
nearly
It's
tapped out
Factor.
here
If
too.
you're new around here, Factor
Sorry.
delivers fresh, never frozen, These bad boys are delicious and cook as well in the microwave in like 2 minutes and you're set. For me, this has been great because I work constantly. Even if I wasn't working, I just engage. So my priorities lie with that. So with the Factor, I don't waste time grocery store.
Maximum pulse!
To go.
Fantastic! The mobile phase is about to begin.
Vegan, chef's choice, calorie smart, keto, a bunch of add-ons options for every type of diet, plus a lot of fun add-ons like smoothies and juices. Factor really can just
I needed that.
and it's so simple. You can choose how many meals are simple for you, so there's no fuss, no muss, and that's the biggest thing. What am I eating today? I am eating potato meat and again, simple, good, delicious, you're good to go. So if you want to check this out, all you gotta do is
The other team is extracting those resources. It's party time!
Again, that's code on Jake plus free breakfast for 1 year. Link below, check it out, and big thanks to Factors for sponsoring this video. Now, where was I? But again, I think the bottom line, and I've seen a lot of people say this, ranting and posting and tweeting and trying to correct people, and even if he's coming with receipts,
They're
again,
halfway
it's
to
like you're
victory.
arguing
Don't let them get more
it's
resources.
not worth it. Instead of doing all that, put the phone down and get to work on it. That's all people want, because honestly, at the end of the day, you don't want to do all this, because everybody's shitting on the performance, and then things are turned around. It's happened so many times before. And not even just performance. Some people have launched.
I am ready to put on a show.
Maximum pulse! Maximum pulse!
You stop yapping and just say, hey, acknowledge.
Great job. You're loading up on resources.
Hey, here's a quick update. Here's a quick patch. Here's a quick recommendation. That's it. And not walls of text. The meme of me just being like, we'll have a great day. I'm not reading all that. Now, I say all that. I am not in any position of power or leadership or selling anything. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Sorry. This is like a Jason Forbes if you watch Game Now. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Hopefully they fix the game. I'd like to see them do that. If you're playing the game and promoting fun for you, great. Hope you're having fun. If not, I hope they fix it for you. Of course, refunds are things. Just either way, what do you think? Are you playing and not having any issues? Are you on console and are you happy? Again, I want to stress everybody has their own experience, so let me know yours. I needed that. Out of a molehill, or something that is just another symptom of bad. Again, welcome to Two Things, where I talk about two things in the gaming news world. News stories I want to dive into. All the news. Here, I do stuff I find interesting, or stuff I really want to talk about. The other bit of news this week is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Once again, talking up in the news, rumor mill stuff. Essentially, a leaker suggesting details about this game. This Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remake, whatever, has been in the conversation and leaked and rumored. I don't think that's listening committee by Ubisoft for a while. I believe since 2021. Because I really like of remakes and re-releases.
You'll have to
Obviously,
keep
a lot of
fighting
game
until we
companies
have a
are playing
winner.
safe and trying to bring out their best shit again and then repackage it, represent it to people. It works.
Maximum pulse!
Again. And I guess they're looking at Assassin's Creed Black Flag as one of their best things, and they're putting it out. Regardless, the new news suggests a couple of interesting things. According to French gaming news outlet Jeux Vidéo Magazine, if I'm pronouncing that right, said that they are completely removing the modern-day story sections and replacing them with more narrative for protagonists.